I know the exact time, or I should say we know the exact time that LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is dropping. And here we have it. This is the date right here, 7:23, 8 a.m. CDT. That is when Gogeta is dropping. That is less than 48 hours. Again, this is literally tomorrow morning for me. It's about it's about 20 hours that Gogeta will be dropping from right now time recording. Probably about 19-ish around then when this goes up. So, this is when the banner dropped. We are seeing Super Saiyan 4, the big dog himself, standalone Gogeta in less than 24 hours, okay? 7:23, 8 a.m. CDT. The reason we know this is because this is the banner unit for Omega, the Dokkan Fest. Like, Pan is the banner unit for Omega, even though she's not for Omega, which is I'm not even gonna get into. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say anything about that. You guys, if you watch these videos at this point, you know how I'll feel about dropping a villain character and then not giving them help with their side banner unit, because Gogeta needs so much help. Anyways, that's beside the point. Okay, so he's dropping in less than 24 hours, which is really exciting. Of course, Omega is dropping at the same time because it's a Carnival Dokkan Fest. They drop at the same time. Also, this guy's dropping at the same time right when the banners are live. He does not have a SSR or TUR, so he might be pretty easy to farm, which is nice. Honestly, I never really liked farming free-to-play characters. That's not what I have fun with, but some people do, you know what I mean? But I personally don't. So we just get him LR. I don't know how missions or whatnot. But just know he drops at the same time Gogeta does. I'm sure more people are going to be summoning than going for LR Nova Shenron, who, in my opinion, seems not that great. I could be just missing something. Also, these teams scare me because I'm sure Omega's going to lead him, and he only is on GT bosses and Shadow Dragon Saga, really an accelerated battle. I'm not sure if Omega is on accelerated battle, but these two teams are awful, so if Omega leads either of these, that's already an L, especially if he only has two leader skills. If he has two leader skills, it's not gonna be good, man. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. So again, Gogeta drops in less than 24 hours. Huge, 7:23, 8 a.m. CDT. Sorry, I'm just excited. So we'll go over the details now, and actually we'll do that last. We'll do that last. Right now, the broadcast, if you wanted to know when the broadcast is for the animations, the kits, they'll probably show some type of EZA. Hopefully this isn't going to be the same as the part 1 one where it's like an hour long. It's a live broadcast, so it probably is going to be an hour long where they're just talking and rambling that we can't even tell what they say unless you speak Japanese, which I don't really like. I'm not the biggest fan of that because it just seems like a big waste of time. So hopefully they just go in there, show us the kits, animations, the challenge content, EZAs, and all that. But that is at 7:23, 2 PST, which is 2 a.m. For me, that's 5 a.m. in the morning, which is awful. It was the same time as part 1 as well, I think. Yeah, it was the same as part 1, 5 a.m. And then the banners drop at 8 a.m. So it's 2 hours after. We'll probably see a data download for the Gogeta and Omega. But again, we'll see the kits here, so we'll be able to determine how good or bad they are. We'll see the animations. I'm sure Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's animations are going to be crazy, and I expect Omega's to be maybe like slightly above mid, like mid to above mid. That's what I'll call it. Hopefully he's really good though. I need him to have a really good leader skill, lead the Rose Zamasus and some other villain characters, and then also be very strong at the same time because you're going to have to run two of them because he's the leader. He's also not on super bosses, of course, so we need him to not lead GT bosses and Shadow Dragon Saga at the same time because that's an awful leader skill. But yeah, 2 a.m. PST. All you got to do, translate that to your time. Most people, I don't think it's going to be the 22nd, so I think most people, if you're not in the United States, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be later in the day. Just translate that to your time. I think it's actually probably a good time for you guys, and for us it's awful because 2 a.m. PST is horrendous, and I would actually rather it be 2 a.m. for me than 5 a.m., which is actually terrible for me. But Yeah, so that's when the broadcast is. So we know when the banners drop. We know Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Omega drop. We know when the broadcast is to see the kits and animations. Remember, I'm pretty sure you get to spend your 50 tickets. These rainbow tickets that give you a 44% chance to pull the new unit. I saw the math too. You get 100 total right here. You get 100 global tickets and you get two, I don't know if it's like a single or a multi. I'm pretty sure it's a single where you get a 44% chance to pull the new unit. You get two of those, and I saw the statistics, the probability. It is a 68% chance to pull the new unit if you do both of the 44% chances. So keep that in mind. You have a 68% chance total, or it's a 68% probability that you'll pull the character, but it's two 44% chances, okay? So just keep that in mind. Super high. You should be able to use these at the same time as the banners drop, same time Gogeta drops, which is 8 a.m. CDT on the 23rd. Again, just translate that to your time. I'm assuming they're going to be available then. And then we're going to get 100 more. We'll probably, I don't know if we're going to get like 25 in part 2, 25 in part 3, or if we'll be able to get all other 50 global tickets to make a total of 100. By the way, right now the max you can have is 50. I have 50. So if you have 50 tickets right now, that means you have all of them that you can possibly get currently. And then when part 2 drops, they'll probably drop some more, because again, it says we're getting 100. So you're going to get two chances at 44% chance to pull the new unit, which is huge if you're going for Gogeta, which I'm assuming most people will be going for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta because that's just the hype character. And also it's a standalone LR Gogeta, which we do not have. Like if we go over to Dokkan info, we just straight up do not have that yet. We only have a TUR or we have transforming characters. So if this means that we are finally getting standalone LR fusions, that's a good thing. Why they couldn't start with VB, I couldn't tell you. If they just mixed mostly the Goku portion of the blues and then add the Vegeta damage to it, make that a standalone VB. He keeps the VB active skill that does the same thing but gives the support from the Vegeta Trunks active. There you go. There's a standalone LR Vegito Blue right there. Easy. Nobody wants to use the blues, man. Like, Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta, nobody wants that. LR standalone Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, people want that, though. So, again, this is the first standalone LR. We only have two other standalone Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas total in this guy and this guy. So, it's very nice to see him as a standalone LR. Finally, now we just need a VB, a GB, and Super Vegito and Super Gogeta. All standalone LRs. Base start out as those best forms. That's what we need. I'm now, with that being said, they can take their time because I'm not a big fusion head. Like, I like fusions. I'd rather have fusions than like Nova Shenron or something like that. But give me Daima. I want Namek LRs, like Namek Super Saiyan Goku. Just like the Legends Ultras that they just dropped. Like, I want that in Dokkan as Dokkan Fest LRs. Super Saiyan Goku and from Namek. And Final Form Frieza from Namek. Like, stuff like that. Also, this is going to be a sick EZA. I'm excited for these guys and the Z-Duos EZAs. I'm really excited for those, actually. I hope they're going to be very strong. And they should be very strong, especially based off of the 7th anniversary LRs. How good this guy is. This guy actually might be the best or second best unit in the game at this current point right now based off of the hard content. Now he's going to get a 5/ he's going to be like a 5 to 6 link with the new standalone LR Gogeta. This guy can slot 1 a decent amount of the time too if necessary, but I'm assuming the Gogeta is just going to be so strong that it's not even going to matter just because it's a standalone LR Gogeta. Am I sad that I spent so many stones on part 1? I spent like 2k. I am very sad. Okay, if I knew it was going to be a standalone LR Gogeta part 2, I would have saved some more of those stones, but it's okay. So, last thing, I talked about that. Let's go to the kits. We'll talk about these kits real quick. So, Pan, you know she's the banner unit because she's 130, GT Heroes Hybrids. She raises attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, high chance to stun, which is 50%, and then raises allies' defense by 20% for 2 turns. That's very good. You give her additional, she's raising defense by 40% for 2 turns. That's very strong. So you get 200% attack and defense. high chance to crit, 20% damage reduction, Rainbow Orb Changer. GT Hero and Youth category allies get 2 key, 40% attack and defense. When attacking with 12 or more keys, she gets 200% attack and defense, 20% damage reduction. So we're at 40% damage reduction so far. As the second, not good against AoEs, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think this doesn't activate until she attacks. Yeah, when attacking. So she gets this post super. As a second or third attacker in the turn, she gets GT Hero or Youth get extra 20% attack and defense for 2 turns. So if you're unaware, she gives 60% attack and defense. You're not running her in slot 1. She's going to be a slot 2 character, slot 2, slot 3, mostly going to be a floater. So all allies in this turn are going to get, the GT Heroes and Youth characters are going to get 60% attack and defense, and then the other ones are going to get 20% attack and defense on the other turn. So very strong. Again, also this, so let's say you're in slot 3 and you double super, she's giving 60% defense for that second rotation and 20% attack, which is very strong. This is how characters should be. Not like Champa. This is how the side banner units should all be built. I don't care if they're all built like in a way similar to this, where they are giving a ton of support. This is how they should be built. This is a very good character. When all allies are our GT Heroes or Youth, she foresees a super attack, another very good thing to have. 20% damage reduction when receiving a normal. So she gets 60% damage reduction against normals, and then loses that against supers. Okay, interesting. After receiving an attack, she launches 2 additional attacks. Each has a high chance of becoming a super. I'm assuming this stays permanent. Like, you don't have to keep doing this. I think you just receive an attack and you get 2 additionals, 50%. Hold on. I didn't even think about that. Each has a high chance. So she could possibly do 4 supers in a turn, which means 80% defense for the next rotation. Plus this. She could have, essentially, if you get super lucky with your additionals, you could get 100% defense for the next rotation. That's kind of crazy. Even if you get like 2, that's 40. And then again, you're going to have the last additional is going to be easier to hit since you're doing these 2 procs. Okay, yeah, she's very good. Starting from the second turn, you get 200% attack and defense, 100% attack, and launch 2 additional attacks. Each has a 70% chance of becoming a super when attacking. That seems like one time. So she could super 6 times in one turn. On one turn. 6 times. That's pretty crazy, again, considering she gets 20% defense for 2 turns, and this is gonna activate every time she supers. So if she supers 4 out of the 6, now she's raising defense by 80% for 2 turns for all allies, and then the GT Heroes and Youth characters are getting an extra 20% attack and defense. Very strong character. I like her build. And then when there's a GT boss or Shadow Dragon, she performs a crit, whatever. Same warrior race on the family, same lineage, Battlefield Diva, GT Innocence, Fierce Battle. She actually has a good link set, minus Battlefield Diva and Innocence. The rest of these links are pretty solid. She's on GT Heroes, Hybrid, Shadow, Youth, Goku Family, Bond of Friendship, Bond of Parent Child, Earth Red Fighters. And her linking partners, again, this isn't going to matter. She gives so much support. She gives keys, so it's not going to matter. That's going to be fine. This is a very good character. I wish it was like this for the Omega team, though. Whoever Omega's going to lead, like Worldwide Chaos, GT bosses, like, I don't know. I wouldn't really want to buff GT bosses because there aren't any GT bosses in the game that are useful. But something like that, you know, something that buffs Omega's characters that you're going to be running on his team. That's why I said Worldwide Chaos for, like, the Rosés. Like, if we had this, but for Omega's team or Rosé's team, like, yeah. Part 1, the Champa should have been a Zamasu, regular Zamasu, or a Goku Black that does exactly this, but for their team. That automatically just makes that team so much more runnable. There's like 3 characters on that team that aren't good enough really in the hard fights. But whatever, okay. So, this is a good GT Heroes character. This is how all the side banner units should be built. Every single one should be built like this. Good defensively, gives a ton of support to your team. Have some 2-turn support, 3-turn support built in, maybe like Yajirobe for being in slot 3. Again, more support, more support, more support. Yeah. Additionals that then lead to more support. Yeah. This is how characters should be built, basically. These types of characters. Side banner units. This is a very strong character. Let's go to LR Nova. It's free to play, of course. So Shadow Dragon, Key 3, 80% attack defense, 44% attack and defense 1 turn on 12 key, 44% attack and defense for 4 turns on 18 key. Key 4, attack and defense 144%. When there's another Shadow Dragon ally in the same turn or enemy, you get 4 key, 44% chance to crit. When facing only one enemy or when all allies attacking the same turn are extreme, you get 4 key, launch 2 additional attacks, each of which has a high chance of becoming a super. When attacking with 14 or more key, you get 244% attack and defense, 24% damage reduction. When attacking with active or 24, you get 244% attack, 44% chance to crit. So you're at to 80% chance to 88% chance to crit. If you're running him on the team, he's going to be ran on. And then receiving a Kiba super, he nullifies it for 4 turns from the entry, or after that, he has a 70% chance to nullify it, starting from the 5th turn from character's entry. Okay. Seems okay. I mean, it doesn't seem like good. I don't know. Again, I don't know based off of these stats. He might be good, but he doesn't really seem good. Especially considering how tough the part 1 bosses are. I can't imagine what the part 2 bosses are. He doesn't seem very good for that. Let's see. Massively raise attack temporarily, ultimate damage, disables an action for 1 turn. And then again, he's getting crit chance. So it's pretty much going to be guaranteed crit. I say that, it's going to be 88% chance most of the time. And then when one enemy whose HP is 50% or less, and then he has Shocking Speech, Element, Cold Judgment, Speed of Retribution, GT, Shadow Dragon, Legendary Power. He's on 3 teams. Shadow Dragon, GT bosses, and Accelerated Battle, that's it. I mean, he's going to share 3 links with the Omega, but I'm not even going to be really running this guy with the Omega. He just doesn't seem good enough to be ran on in any hard content. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Pam seems really good. This guy does not. Again, if you want a reminder, if you made it this far in the video, please leave a like, drop us off the channel if you're new. Thank you for watching. And the banners for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta drop 7:23, 8 a.m. CDT. Thank you. I'm out.